So this is my last video diary of 2020. Roughly a year ago, I started this channel. At the time, I wanted to try something different. I wanted to seek out a new set of challenges, and more importantly, I wanted to see if I had what it took to push aside my insecurities and do something outside of my comfort zone. I had been making videos on Instagram, which was the perfect place for me to hide away my apprehension. I mean, nobody cared about video on Instagram. The videos I was making were nothing special. So I had a ton of suggestions. It's Kris. I just want to take a couple seconds to say thank you. After each one, I found myself wanting to do more. YouTube to me was this amazing platform where I was inspired by people like Josh Yo or Jesse Driftwood, among many others. They were creating content that was different than what I was used to seeing. It had elements of story and production as well as being really engaging. To me, YouTube seemed out of reach when you looked at what others were capable of. I honestly can't pinpoint what convinced me to take a leap and eventually give it a shot, but something did. Initially, I was hoping to maybe put together 5 or 6 videos over the course of this year, but the fact that we somehow put together 35 of these things is just, I don't know, unexpected. This first year has gone by so fast, and it seems like at times so much is happening that you don't always get a chance to process everything before it's on to the next week or chasing after the next idea. I remember sitting down to the very first video back in January and pretty much feeling like a deer in headlights. There it is. I have a YouTube account with 0 subscribers. Like I said before, I remember flirting with the idea of starting a channel for such a long time, being so scared to do it because I really had absolutely no clue what I was going to do or where I wanted things to go. To be honest, I think that video was about hating vertical video on Instagram or something. And I remember afterwards thinking, this is so dumb. Nobody is going to care about some dumpy animation I'm giving away. But I remember reminding myself that it doesn't matter what anyone thinks. Like, why do I even care? I mean, at the time, I literally had 0 subscribers. No one was going to see it anyways. And that was how I psyched myself up enough to be able to hit the upload button. And after it was up, I remember I couldn't even watch myself. I got super self-conscious about seeing myself on camera, and to this day, I still don't like watching the final edit on YouTube after it's been uploaded. I think that video got a couple hundred views, and I was like, whoa, this is kind of cool. I still didn't really have a plan as far as a niche I was going to try to fit myself into, but I was okay with that. Next came a short video about how I wanted to improve the quality of my audio. I remember looking so awkward on camera, and my lack of self-confidence was really showing through. The audio in the video was terrible, which was a good thing. So we're back! You might be wondering what's in this package, but we'll get to that. I was hoping when I hung the blankets that there would be this aha moment, and there was, but it really wasn't that noticeable unless you were listening to the audio track with headphones or big speakers, but whatever, I was cool with that. I had set out to improve the quality of my audio in my videos, all 2 of them, and as far as I was concerned, I had succeeded. After that, I made a couple more quick videos, which definitely had their ups and downs, before getting to what, until pretty recently, was the most viewed video I made all year. The Aperture MC video was, at the time, the most complicated thing I had ever tried to shoot. I say complicated in terms of me wanting to do 1, a creative intro, 2, a review and unboxing, which was something I'd been too scared to attempt because I felt like I had no business discussing products at my skill level, 3, a real-time demonstration of the basic features, and 4, several short segments demonstrating the built-in effects of the light. And I wanted to show them in real-life situations, not just list them all off. That feeling of not being knowledgeable or good enough to attempt something or talk about a topic is something I struggle with at times, and I think we all do. And I'm glad in this case I didn't let it get the best of me. The video ended up being super fun to create, generated a ton of positive feedback, and more importantly, I think that was the moment it clicked for me, as far as what I was going to do with this channel. I wanted to document my journey as a creator, from those first nervous moments before I hit record in that opening video to wherever it ended up taking me. And not just the times where everything worked. I wanted to show the videos I wish I had never made, or looking back or embarrassed by, like this one. My God, it's just walking and walking. I wish I had that one back. I wanted to show the screw-ups and the downright fails, so I had something to look back at to see if I was actually making progress. I wanted to inspire and connect with others that were maybe in a similar situation as me, maybe wanting to move forward but lacking the confidence to do so. So that's how it went. I just wanted to try as many things as possible. At the end of March, I used a green screen for one of the very first times. So this is Boots. She's going to be my subject today. And I bought extra treats. Have the green screen all set up, so hopefully she cooperates. Let's do that. I knew it was going to be a disaster, but I didn't care. I still ended up with some, let's just say, interesting results. In April, I tried to photograph my other cat, Poe. She's not really the photo-taking type, trust me. But in the end, it all worked out and I just kept moving along. The pandemic changed so much of the world we were used to, and at times, I was really struggling with the isolation. Many of the simple interactions I took for granted were no longer possible. I remember wanting to cut my hair and convincing myself I could do it on my own. I think I started shooting that one at around 9 in the morning and didn't finish until well after dinner. I had to keep restarting and trying to compose myself. If you look at my eyes in that one, you can clearly see that I was having a pretty difficult time with it all. I think at the time I passed it off as being nervous about my hair, but to be honest, it was one of those moments where I realized how much had changed and how much I missed my family. And although it wasn't pretty, those were the moments that I wanted to show at times. I wanted to show that everything doesn't always have to be polished or necessarily go as planned. July came and the channel had just become monetized. I knew to remain legal when it came to using drone footage, I was going to have to get my Part 107 certification. I had tossed around the idea in the past and quickly moved on from it after being overwhelmed by the process. This time, I wouldn't have a choice. I remembered studying for the tests and being so nervous, worrying about what would happen if I didn't pass. The self-doubt started creeping in, but it was silly looking back. I was so well prepared and the test went off without a hitch. Well guys, I passed. I am officially a certified drone pilot. And I was actually pretty proud that I could say that I was certified. August brought what I'd say was the biggest personal letdown of the year. Now back in June, I declared like a dummy that I was going to run 10 miles without stopping. For many, this probably doesn't sound like much of a feat, but this was a huge goal for me to take on. Never before was I able to push myself to run more than a mile or so. I knew I lacked the mental toughness and physical drive needed to complete something like this. And as lame as it sounds, my involvement with YouTube and the desire to create content is what ultimately helped give me the confidence to challenge those perceptions I had of myself. I gave it my best shot and ultimately I failed, but it came with a silver lining. The limited amount of footage I was actually able to capture wasn't enough to support a story regardless of the outcome. It forced me to come up with a different way than I was familiar with to try and tell a story. It was another one of those light bulb moments where it just kind of clicked. And I'm definitely not saying that video was some great storytelling moment, because it wasn't. But it highlighted the need for me to at least have some kind of structure and motivation in place, something that had clearly been lacking in my videos. So that's what I began trying to develop. Later on in August, I was excited to upgrade my camera, but at the last minute decided to cancel my R5 order and move on from Canon. Fall came and went, and I got to a point where I really wanted to push myself creatively. I wanted to make videos that had these moments, even if it was just for a few seconds, that were better produced than what I had been doing in the months before. I wanted to make fun intros. I wanted to write. I just wanted to make stories. 2020 for me will of course be remembered as the year of the pandemic, the year that I couldn't see my family, and the year that took so much from all of us. But I'll also remember it as a time I finally silenced my excuses and refused to be afraid to put myself out there. 2020 taught me that if I want to accomplish something, I need to stop inventing reasons why I can't, and instead start focusing on all the ways that I can. This year opened my eyes to a lot of different things. Things that I wanted to change about myself, and the realization that I needed to stop comparing myself to others. And although it all still remains a work in progress, I can honestly say for the first time ever, I'm finally content with who I am creatively. See you in 2021.